I'm Catherine Mukes, licensed professional counselor.
And I'm Dr. B, pediatric neuropsychologist.
And welcome to Let's Talk. So let's talk, Dr. B, today about adulting.
Oh, adulting.
Right? So what happens, right? We're kids. We can't wait until we become adults. And we're scraping and scrounging so we can have our own this, our own that, and do what we want to do when we want to do it. And then we get it. And it's nothing like we thought it would be.
At all. Adulting comes with so many changes, discoveries, high points, low points, everything in between. But yeah, it's quite a journey. And in that journey, there are a lot of goals and things like that we try to establish to make life the best that we can. And so one thing that we want to talk about today is exactly that, goal setting. Absolutely. And how to set the most appropriate goals and how to make them achievable and realistic. So we're just going to kind of share a little bit of our experiences and our ideas related to goal setting. Why do you think, Catherine, that goal setting is important?
One of the things that makes goal setting important is it gives you something to aim for. There used to be a saying that if you shoot for the moon and you miss, you'll still be amongst the stars. Because a lot of times we get to that adult part of our lives and we just get to moving, right? But we're not going anywhere in particular. And so it's hard to measure if we're getting any particular where. It's kind of like the difference, I like to say, between saying, I want to go on a trip and saying, I want to go on a trip to this place by this time, because it's going to make a difference in how you start to move. So setting goals is really important because you get to aim for something, you know what you're aiming at, and it helps to set your course once you start aiming. So we're in Houston, right? And I can say that I want to go to Dallas. But if I jump on I-10 trying to get to Dallas, I'm not going to get there. You're going to look at me like I'm crazy, right? And so being able to know what it takes to get to Dallas is going to be an important part of being able to, well, first of all, knowing that that's where I want to go is going to set the tone for which road I'm going to get on to head toward that destination.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point about knowing where you want to go. How do you know what type of goals you should set, and what direction you should even approach? And one way to determine that is by thinking about what things that you are great at and what things are areas of weaknesses for you. We all have them. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. And using that as a guide to know which direction you should go in is going to help you with that goal setting process. For example, thinking about careers, you might consider your weaknesses. For example, if maybe you are not so great at math and science, you may take that into consideration when you're thinking about different career choices and setting goals for however you want to approach your career. But that's one example of how we kind of deal with strengths and weaknesses.
And absolutely, and thinking about strengths and weaknesses, strengths, we tend to like to do more of the things that we're really good at. And so strengths help to kind of formulate general direction in that way. But we shouldn't discount weaknesses altogether, because what happens with weaknesses is it gives us a chance. I always look at it as an opportunity for enhancement. So you may have an area, so maybe you're not good at math and science, but you really want to be a physician, and there's a number of math and science courses that you're going to have to take along that road. So what you may have to say is, okay, I know I'm not good in this area, so what I need to do is put some other things into place to help me to get better at this. So does that mean I need to go to tutoring or get some private tutors or take summer classes or whatever it is that you need to do to help make those weaknesses not be barriers. And then if it's something that you're absolutely just not no good at, I always laugh and joke and say you can't be afraid at the sight of blood and think you're going to be a phlebotomist. That may not just be realistic for what you want to do. So really considering what are those weaknesses that can be changed or modified, things can be done to enhance or overcome those weaknesses, versus certain things that just may not go away for you.
Right. And I also feel like your goals should be realistic. They should be attainable goals. At times we have to break apart goals into small steps, short-term goals, even if it comes down to what am I going to accomplish in this next hour?
Right.
You know, what am I going to accomplish this day, this week, and maybe, you know, you start to think about, okay, what am I accomplishing over the next few years?
Absolutely.
But they have to be realistic and attainable, and it's starting somewhere. Some people can start with a monthly goal. Other people may have to have it broken down into what I'm doing for today.
Right.
There's an acronym that you talked about before.
And it's an acronym that's pretty widely known. It's SMART. When you're thinking about goals, you want your goals to be SMART. That's S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, and T for time sensitive. And I really like the T, because the T, not the T, but the T in SMART, right? We like a little bit of that. But being able to have a time limit. You know, a lot of times we work well with deadlines, and being able to say this is the point by which a certain something should happen. And so it really holds you accountable when you have a time limit set. So kind of like you were saying, if it's what's something I need to get done in this next hour that's going to help catapult me toward my goal? Is it something that I need to be doing over the next month that's going to help catapult me toward my goal, regardless of what the goal is, whether it's a career goal, a financial goal, or any type of goal? But being able to know that this is the SMART piece of it. This is where, back to the example I used earlier, I want to be in Dallas by Saturday at noon. It's very specific. I know where I'm going to Dallas, when I'm going to get there. I want to be there by noon on Saturday. And so being able to, I can now track my progress toward that goal. So if it's Saturday at 1 o'clock and I'm still in my PJs at the house, I'm probably not going to achieve that particular goal. So really thinking about what that looks like and being able to make those so specific, again, very specific, knowing where it is you're trying to be, measurable, something that you can put some lines to. So for example, you know for sure whether you made it to Dallas or not. If it's attainable and realistic, those kind of come hand in hand. Those are things that, can they be done? Is this something that's reasonable for me to be able to do? Back to what we were saying about, you know, math and science. If that's not your strong suit, is this realistic? And if so, how do we move forward with that?
Exactly. And some of the other important pieces with goal setting in adulting is just surrounding yourself with like-minded people, with people who are going to support your dreams, offer you encouragement, but who are also gonna, you know, give you some accountability.
Oh, yeah.
It's you know, important. How are you working towards that goal? I'm checking in with you.
Absolutely.
And it's important to be that to other people. For someone to offer you that is great, and then in return you should also offer that type of support to others. Right. And the one other thing is just celebrating kind of the small wins and the small steps that you make towards those larger goals.
Right. Because as you said, goals can be very lengthy in time. So you may have a goal that's, you know, a year out. If you're in college, it may be, you know, this is my 4-year plan. About in 4 years, these are things that I have to do. If you are working on other things in your life, maybe there's a financial goal. You want to take a big trip next year, and you have this in mind. And so being able to set it out, but along the way, breaking it down into very small steps. And so being able to understand what your resources are, what you have, what you need in order to reach that goal, and being able to formulate ways, be it whether it's people, whether it's information, what is it that you need that's going to help you to get toward that goal? What would you say to somebody who just doesn't quite know how to get started with setting goals?
One thing I would say is maybe try writing down what the things that you enjoy doing, things that pique your interest.
Yeah.
You know, just try to get that down on paper, and sometimes just the act of writing it down and kind of integrating the things that you've written down can lead you in directions. Also, speaking with counselors are also good ways to help you work through.
Absolutely.
Counselors like Catherine can help you work through these types of questions that you have about life and goal setting. So I would encourage that, and there's nothing wrong with getting that extra support.
Absolutely.
Just for life goals.
Absolutely, and I think support is going to be very helpful along the adulting path, period. Especially as you set goals, as we talked about, the accountability and having people there to not just keep you accountable, to cheer you on as you're going toward those goals, and somebody that you can have to be a shoulder to cry on if you do fall short of what you had hoped for, and understanding that it's all part of the process, but you can do so much more with community. And so being able to have those things available to you as you move forward, whether it's someone that's a paid professional like ourselves, or if it's a friend or family member, definitely important things to have in your life as you move towards your goals, and especially when it comes to anything having to do with becoming an adult.
Yeah. I think that these are all tidbits and tips towards going out there and conquering your goals, evaluating your strengths and weaknesses, and allowing that to direct you in your goal setting.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for joining our talk today.
Yeah.
We hope to see you next time. Don't forget to leave us a comment. Make sure that you like us, share us, and we hope to see you next time. Take care.
Take care.